Hello, sparrows. I haven't seen you for a couple of days. I needed to be cozy under my blankets, and I was feeling a little bit sad because I was missing some of my family and friends, and I know lots of us are feeling a bit like that. And it's okay to have quiet days. It's okay to have a little rest under a blanket when you need to. And a reminder to look out of the window, look at the sky or the clouds or the birds or the trees, whatever it is in nature that you love. I was lucky enough to go for a walk down by the river, and you know what flew over my head? An osprey. A beautiful, beautiful osprey carrying a big fish for its dinner. It flew right low down, whoosh, and over the forest. And do you know where it landed? It landed on top of a telegraph pole near where I had parked the car. It decided to have dinner with me. So there it was atop of the telegraph pole, and it was reminding me that I have lots of friends. I just can't see them. And there are lots of friends in nature too, if we really, really look. And then on the way home, do you know what was outside of the window of the car? A big, wily fox with a big, bushy tail. And it went in front of the car, and then it stayed in the bank and stopped and just sat and looked straight in the car at me and my dog, Django, Shadowhound. And the fox seemed to say, "Come on, Steffi, you have lots of friends in nature. You just forgot to look for a little while." So I said thank you to the osprey and the fish that was the osprey's dinner. And I said thank you to the fox. And then I came home and I baked a special cake to read with you today. Here it is. So I actually forgot to put 2 of the ingredients in. And my sons said, "Never mind, let's cook it anyway, Mum." And I did, and they were right, it turned out. So I think it's because it has lots of extra love mixed into it. And love pretty much fixes everything, even my not very good cakes, because I am not a very good cake baker. But love for sure fixes just about everything. Kaboosh! So here we are in the nest, and today is the last chapter in this book, and it's Pippi's birthday. And she decides that she's going to have a little birthday party, and let's find out what happens. So first of all, I'm going to put on my little apron because I think Pippi was probably cooking lots of things in her kitchen. There we are. And what should we have in our special tea? What should we have in our special tea today? Let's make some. So should we have some nature tea? Would you like to mix together some nature tea? What should we put in our nature tea? There's the teapot there. Let's put something from a walk that we may have all done recently. Let's have the smell of sunshine. Let's have the soft caw of a passing. Well, let's see. Actually, we heard blue jays the other day. If you are in Canada, you'll know that blue jays are really noisy. They kind of make a lot of rah, 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 rah. They really like calling like they're at some kind of baseball game or something. So rather than a soft call of a dove or a beautiful pigeon, let's have the loud, what should we call it, like a cackle of a blue jay. That's going to be like the bubbles that mix it all together. Let's have the blade of a fresh piece of mint. The mint in my garden is just starting to poke up. I love the smell of mint. And what else is poking up? Some tulips. Tulips. Let's have the curtsy of a tulip. And there are some crocuses. So let's have the chorus of a crocus mixed in. And let's have the hope of a daisy, the wish of a buttercup, and the dance of a dandelion. How about that for tea? Let's mix that all in. Usually we have this one. Let's have a double tea. Ooh, there we, oh, sort of works. Double teapot. Okay, double teapot. Okay, so nature tea for you. Cheers. Put that there. Nature tea for me. Cheers. That blue jay little cackle makes the whole bunch of difference. Woo, woo. That was a joke of a blue jay. There was a blue jay joke in that tea. All right, so I think because Pippi was baking, she would wear a chef's hat, don't you? I think she would wear a chef's hat today, if I can get that today. I haven't tried this on. I don't even know if it's going to fit me. There we go. Yes, it will. There we go. Oh, yes. Let's put it to the side. Nice. Put my glasses up. Oh, I can't see. It's pushing my glasses off. There we are. And will that? Yes, it will stay today. Love. Oh, gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's not going to work. Let's try that. Oh no, don't let me be defeated with the glasses on the last day. No, of this book. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something completely different. There we are. Oh, yes. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Pippi's birthday. Are you ready? Oh, yes. Here we are. We have our tea. Oh, we didn't blow our wishes. Let's blow our wishes. And I actually can't see anything. So if you know somebody who needs a hug or a wish, you're really good at that now. Love and hugs to anybody around the world who needs them. I'm going to try one more time with these glasses. I'm trying to invent something as I'm speaking to you that will make them stay on there. How's that? Okay. Nice. Gorgeous. All right then, away we go. Are you sitting comfortably? Are you in your comfy spot? Don't put a tight hat on like mine. It's fine now. Okay, away we go. So if you're in your comfy spot and ready, where's the beginning of the chapter? Here we are. So Pippi celebrates her birthday. So one day, Tommy and Annika found a letter in their mailbox. It was addressed to me, Annika. It wasn't spelled correctly. And when they opened it, they found a card that read, "To me and Annika are invited to Pippi's tomorrow at her birthday party. Dress in whatever you want to wear." So Tommy and Annika realized that Pippi had written this card because the spelling was very peculiar, and they knew that Pippi was not such a good speller. So they knew that she had gone to a great deal of trouble to write it. And they could tell that it said, "Please come to Pippi's birthday party tomorrow and wear whatever you like." remember when Pippi had gone to school and she'd had that for that one day. Do you remember that one day? She really didn't know her alphabet very well because she had been at sea. And when she was sailing on the ocean, one of the sailors of her father's ship used to take her up on deck in the evening and try to teach her how to write. But you know Pippi, if she was too busy doing something else, that would be too difficult. So Pippi was not a very patient pupil. And she would say, "No, Friedolf, no. That was his name. No, Friedolf, bother all this learning. I can't study any more now because I must climb the mast to see what kind of weather we're going to have tomorrow. I have no time to learn how to read and write. I have weatherish things to be doing." So you can imagine that writing was very difficult for Pippi. So she spent one whole night writing the invitation. She was very happy doing it, but it took her all night. And at dawn, just as the sun was coming up, she raced out of Vellicula and tiptoed over to Tommy and Annika's house and dropped it into the mailbox. So as soon as Tommy and Annika saw the invitation, they were so excited. And that day they rushed home from school, and Annika asked her mother to please curl her hair and find her best dress, which was hung up very high and she couldn't reach it. So her mother curled her hair and put a great big bow in it. And Tommy asked for his best suit, which was also hung up very high, and he combed his hair with water so it was all nice and fancy hair. And then they went to buy Pippi a present. What do you think they bought Pippi for a present? They emptied out their money box and they went down into town to the toy store and they chose her a present. But I'm not going to tell you what the present is just yet. They were very excited about the present and they wrapped it up and put a ribbon around it. Lots of ribbon around it, for they know that Pippi loves ribbon. And then they said, "Goodbye, Mama, we're off to Pippi's party. We're very excited." And their mother said, "Wish Pippi a big happy birthday from me also." And off they went. They took it in turns to carry the present between them. And then when they got to the gate, it was starting to get dark. They held each other's hands tightly, for now they were a little bit scared because there was some strange howling in the trees and the wind was blowing, and they had never been to Pippi's in the evening before. And when they looked up the pathway, they saw the lighted windows of Villa Vellicula, and they were very thrilled to know that Pippi was inside and they were going to have a party. So they went up the pathway carrying the present between them. And ordinarily, Tommy and Annika would have rushed through the kitchen door and called, "Hello, Pippi!" But this time they went to the front door because it was a very special occasion. They went up onto the porch. Where was the porch horse? I don't know. And Tommy gave a lively knock on the door, and from inside came a voice that said, Who comes in the dark of night on the road to my house? Is it a ghost or just a poor little mouse?" "Oh, no, Pippi, it's us, quickly, open the door. Pippi opened the door, Oh, Pippi, why did you say something about a ghost? It's awfully frightening out here with some strange noises in your trees. I was so scared. Pippi laughed and laughed and laughed and said, "Come on in, there are no ghosts. I was just fooling around." And Tommy and Annika thought how good it was to come into the warm, bright lights of Pippi's house. And there Pippi had scrubbed the kitchen until it shone and made a beautiful party. She had put rugs on the floor and a large cloth on the table, all embroidered with flowers, and it looked so beautiful. The curtains were drawn and the fire was burning merrily in the hearth. And on the wood box sat Mr. Nielsen. He was banging pot lids together. And in a corner, there was the porch horse. The porch horse was in the corner of the room, for he had been invited to Pippi's birthday party also. So now at last Tommy and Annika remembered that they were supposed to say happy birthday to Pippi. Tommy bowed and Annika bowed, and then they handed Pippi the present tied up with ribbon. And they said, "May we congratulate you and wish you a very happy birthday?" And Pippi said, "Oh, of course you can. What have you brought me?" And there she opened her present. "Oh, thank you for my present," said Pippi. And she undid the ribbon. What do you think Tommy and Annika bought for Pippi? La 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 la. What do you think? It's a music box. Should we wind it up? I love it. Do you know that tune is When You Wish Upon a Star? Because I think that Pippi often wishes on stars. Do you wish on stars sometimes? Before you go to sleep, even if you can't see the stars, you can close your eyes and imagine the stars. So Pippi loved her music box. Let's put that. Can you see that if I put it there? Sort of. There. And she said, "Thank you so much. I love music boxes. Especially the tune When You Wish Upon a Star, because I love wishing upon the stars." So then what happened? Well, she patted Tommy and she patted Annika and said, thank you very much. And then she patted the wrapping and she patted the ribbon and she patted the music box and she patted the table and she patted the horse and she patted Mr. Nielsen because she was so happy. And then she said, oh my goodness, I almost forgot. I have presents for you too. And they said, "But it isn't our birthday, Pippi. You don't have to buy us any presents." And she said, "Well, excuse me, if it's my birthday, I like to give people presents on my birthday." So then she said, "Or does it say in your school books that such a thing cannot be done? Is it something to do with the old multiplication tables?" Do you remember she had trouble with multiplication tables? She couldn't say that word. "Is it something to do with multiplication tables? Is there a rule against it? Maybe I shouldn't give you any presents. Can I give you some birthday presents?" And Tommy said, "Well, of course you can give us some presents. It isn't very customary, but I should be glad to have a present." "Me too," said Annika. So Pippi ran into the parlor and brought back 2 presents from her special chest. And what they opened wrapped in brown paper, were two beautifully carved little flutes. How beautiful. Two little carved flutes. I wonder where she got them from. Tommy and Annika were delighted. They had butterflies carved in them and little red and green stones to decorate them. They had never seen such beautiful flutes in all their life. They said they would play them outside later under the moonlight. Isn't that lovely? So when they had all their birthday presents, they decided that it was time to sit down at the table where there are all sorts of cakes and buns. The cakes were rather peculiar in shape, but Pippi declared they were just the kind of cakes that they ate in farthest Hawaii. You think so? So let's have light a happy birthday candle for Pippi. There we are. Happy birthday, Pippi, from your friends. The porch horse, and Mr. Nielsen, and Tommy, and Annika, and me, and you, the sparrows. So we'll leave Pippi's birthday candle there for just a bit longer while they eat their cake, shall we? So Pippi served hot chocolate with whipped cream, and the children were just about to begin their feast when Tommy said, "Oh, wait a second. In our house, we draw cards, and then the cards tell us who can take who to sit down at the special table. Would you like that, Pippi?" "Oh, I would love that," said Pippi. So Tommy sat down on the wood box and he wrote a card. He wrote, "Mr. Settergren will have the pleasure of taking Miss Let me try that again. Mr. Settergren will have the pleasure of taking Miss Longstocking to the birthday table." And he said, "Just in case you don't know, Pippi, Mr. Settergren, that's me." And then he wrote, "Mr. Nielsen will have the pleasure of taking Miss Settergren into the special birthday table." And then Pippi said, "Okay, but the horse must have a card too, you know, even if he can't sit at the table." So Tommy wrote another card that said, "The horse will have the pleasure of remaining in the corner where he will be served cake and apples." Pippi held the card under the horse's nose and said, "Here you are. Read this, porch horse, and see if you have any objections to it." And the horse read the card and then that was supposed to sound like a horse and not a backfiring hairdryer. The horse thought that was fine. So as the horse had made no objection, Tommy offered his arm to Pippi and they walked to the table. And then Mr. Nielsen showed no intention of wanting to walk with Annika, so she picked him up gently and carried him to the table and sat him on the table. He did not want to sit in a chair. Well, he's a monkey. He doesn't want to sit in a chair. He wants to sit right in the middle of the food. So Annika and Tommy and Pippi ate and ate. It was so delicious. And Mr. Nielsen then emptied his cup. This is Mr. Nielsen's cup. That's probably more how a monkey is going to drink tea. And then do you know what he did when he'd finished drinking his tea? He turned it upside down and he put the cup on his head like that. And when Pippi saw that, she did the same thing. She emptied out her cup and put it on her head, except that she had not quite finished drinking the hot chocolate, and a little stream ran down her forehead and over her nose and dripped down onto her tongue, where she lapped it all up. "Waste not, waste not, want not," she said. And everybody laughed and laughed and laughed. So then, do you know what happened? Tommy and Annika did the same thing. They drank their hot chocolate, put their empty cups on top of their head. And when everyone had had enough, and the horse had eaten enough, and Mr. Nielsen had eaten enough, Pippi took hold of all four corners of the tablecloth, lifted it up, and then took it over and put it into the wood box. And she said, "There we are. I always like to tidy up as soon as I have eaten," she said. And I'm going to show you a picture. There we are. There they are. Pippi has her cup on her head, and they're all laughing, and there's the horse, and there's Mr. Nielsen. Isn't that a great picture? Lovely. Okay. So, remember they were talking about ghosts, and remember that Annika was a little bit frightened? So then Pippi says, "Suppose we go up to the attic and visit the ghosts." Annika, "Oh, are there really ghosts in the attic?" said Annika. Pippi said, "Are there ghosts in my..." Oh, I'm going to lose my cup. "Are there ghosts in my attic?" "There are millions of ghosts in my attic. It is swarming with ghosts. You just trip over them. Everywhere you walk in my attic, you'll trip over one ghost after another. Shall we go up and meet them for my birthday?" "Oh, Pippi, I don't know," said Annika. And Tommy said, "I'm a bit afraid." And Pippi said, "Come on with me. You know how fun adventures are when I'm around. Let's go and meet my ghost for the birthday celebration." So, there aren't any ghosts anywhere else in the world, actually, so you don't have to be so afraid, because all of the ghosts in the world live in my attic, and I am friends with all of them, so you don't have to be afraid of ghosts anymore, said Annika. No, Pippi said that. Pippi said that. So, come on, they are not dangerous at all. Let's go and have a ghost party. So off they went up the stairs into the attic. Whoa, Pippi went first. She opened the door to the attic stairs. It was pitch dark. And Tommy took hold of Pippi's hand, and Annika took hold of Tommy's hand, and up they went, creak, 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 up the stairs. And Tommy began to wonder if it wouldn't have been better to stay in the kitchen. And Annika also was wondering if she should turn around and go back downstairs again. And at last they came to the top of the stairs and stood in the attic. It was pitch dark there too, except there was a little moonbeam that shone onto the floor. But there were mysterious noises. And Pippi said, "Hello, all you ghosts. It's my birthday today, and we thought we'd come up and have a ghosty birthday party. Lots of strange noises answered. And Pippi said, "Poof, I can't see you. You have to come out. I brought my friends Tommy and Annika to meet you." And not one single ghost appeared. It was just the howling of the wind through the roof rafters. Not a single ghost came out to say hello. So Pippi said, "I might have known. They've all gone to a council meeting of the Ghost and Goblin Society. Not a single ghost is here." Annika went, oh, she was relieved. Whew. And she hoped the meeting would go on for a very long time. But just then they heard an awful sound coming from the corner of the attic. "Ooh," it said. "1 second. Ooh, ooh, I have to go over here. Ooh, ooh, oops. Ooh, ooh. I didn't fool you, did it? Ooh, what's happening?" It said, and a moment later, Tommy saw something rushing out of the distance, brush past his forehead, and disappear. "Oh, it's a ghost!" And Pippi shrieked, "No, no, no, no! It's just me! It's just me! Woo! This is my dear Papa's nightshirt that I've been looking for a really long time. I'm not a ghost." Oh, goodness. Tommy and Annika were so relieved. And Pippi said, "Nightshirts are not dangerous. It's just me." And then all of a sudden they noticed a treasure chest in the corner. Pippi said, "Come and look at this delightful sea chest. What can be inside it?" She lifted it up and carried it over to the window so the moonbeam could light up the insides of the treasure chest. And what do you think they found? They found a great many old clothes, and they found a telescope and some books, some beautiful old maps, a sword with emeralds in the handle, and a bag of gold pieces. "Tiddly pom, tiddly day," said Pippi contentedly. "Oh, this is so exciting. Let's take everything down to the kitchen and have a look." So off they went down with the great big trunk down to the kitchen. Boom, 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 boom. And what happened? Oh, 1 second. There, Pippi looked through the telescope out into the night sky, and she said, "Well, this telescope? Remember, some words were tricky for Pippi, and for me apparently. "Well, I can almost see the flies in Egypt from here," she said. And just then, there was a knock at the door. "Oh, I'd better go and see who that is," she said. And she quickly took off her father's nightshirt and ran to the door to see who it might be. "Hello," she said. "Ooh, who is it?" It was Tommy and Annika's father, who had come to take them home because it was long past their bedtime. So Tommy and Annika said, "Thank you very much for such a fun, ghosty, cup upside down on our head sort of birthday party for you." And they picked up their beautiful flutes and down the garden path they went with their father. And Pippi followed her guests out to the porch and watched them disappear through the garden. They turned around to wave. The light from inside shone on her, and there she stood with her stiff red braids sticking out and her father's nightshirt over one shoulder, billowing out behind her. And in one hand she held the sword from the treasure chest, and in the other hand she held Mr. Nielsen up so he could wave also. And when Tommy and Annika and their father reached the gate, they heard her calling through the whistling wind so they could just about hear her. Tommy and Annika, thank you for coming over. I've decided to be a pirate when I grow up. Why don't you join me too? Bye. And that is the end of that chapter. And it's the end of the first book of Pippi Longstocking. So I think next time I might choose a different series of books to read. So I'm going to have a look around in my little library and find something else fun. And thank you for joining me in the nest for Pippi. I really hope she's taught you about being resourceful and courageous and really believing that you can figure anything out, anything at all, especially if you have good friends around you, which I know all of you have. Either call them up or send them a message. And if you feel that you haven't got a friend, you know that you can just reach out to us here. And we are all your friends. So enjoy the rest of your day doing whatever it is you're doing. Remember to stay cozy under a blanket if you need to. And let's blow out this candle for wishes, wishes, wishes for everyone, even if it isn't their birthday. Love wishes for everyone.